رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. This is supposed to be a very, very short example of the Qur'an's linguistic beauty, its high standard of language. And the reason I'm bringing even these short examples is so that we can cover as much of the words and the contents in the Quran, proving it to be divine from God. This is chapter number 64, Surah Taghaman of the Quran, verse 2, which says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم هو الذي خلقكم فمنكم كافر ومنكم مؤمن. It is He who created you. Among you is the disbeliever and among you is the believer. Now, Allah mentions the disbeliever before the believer, and one might think, why not say, among you is the believer and among you is the disbeliever? Why not mention the believer first? We know that believers are better than the disbelievers, but why not mention the believers first? And the beautiful answer lies not in who's better or not, the beauty of the language, what is being discussed, the context. And when we see the context, the verses after this was verse 2, verse 3 talks about Allah creating the heavens and the earth and creating us. And then verse 4 talks about He knows, His knowledge. And then He talks about what? He says, has there not come to you the news of those who disbelieved before you? So they tasted the bad consequence of their affair and they will have a painful punishment. That is because their messengers, it's all talking about the disbelievers. That is because their messengers used to come to them with clear evidence, but they said, shall human beings guide us? And disbelieved and turned away. All about disbelievers. And then those who disbelieve have claimed that they will never be resurrected. Say, yes, by my Lord, you will be resurrected. So the entire context starts talking about the disbelievers. Imagine if the chapter started, among you are the believers and the disbelievers, and then suddenly start talking about the disbelievers. Again, this was the disconnect, right? The beauty and the high level language, the highest standard of the language that the Quran uses, it never comes down from it, even in these small and little things that we might think are really small. But the Quran, in each and everything, stays on the highest standard of language, never comes down. And even after this, it gives the invitation. It says, so believe in Allah and His mentions. So then there's an invitation. So it's all about the disbelievers, and thus it was more appropriate to mention the disbelievers before the believers. This is the Quran's message. Every single word, you look at it from different angles, shows you that this was written by some extremely intelligent being who was sending in signals to us, telling us that this cannot be a word of a mere mortal or from any human being. So may God give us complete conviction in the Quran as the word of God. Subhanallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.